Hey guys, CDTVThaG here, and the G, of course, stands for...
Oh my god, we don't care what the G stands for. React to ZUU.
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 Okay, I'm gonna be honest with you guys, I haven't even been able to close my eyes to try to sleep without seeing the words ZUU reaction right there in front of me. No matter what I'm doing, whether I'm on holiday, I'm making some food, I'm recording other videos, all I see just in the distance, really small, is the words... So I did the right thing for the YouTube algorithm and waited till absolutely no one was thinking I was even gonna do this reaction, and that's when you do it. That's the right time. But my excuse is, and this isn't the case, it's actually just a coincidence, but my excuse is that today, when I'm recording this, is the 1 year anniversary of when Denzel's Taboo album dropped. Look at that timing. Today, I am finally going to be reacting to ZUU by Denzel Curry. I don't care how many people watch this video, I just want to A, hear the album, and B, have this video out, because it's all I've seen in my comments for about a month or so. I think it came out just as I was taking my 1 week break from YouTube. But we finally got to this point where I'm just thinking to myself, I want to hear this. 1 year anniversary of Taboo, and I haven't heard this new Denzel Curry album. So finally, I can say this. Let's get into track number 1, the title track on the album, ZUU. I'm actually reacting to ZUU, this is kind of crazy. Okay, melodic Denzel straight out the gate. There's one thing you're absolutely always gonna get from Denzel is just pure raw energy. I feel like we're gonna get a bit more of a banger Denzel on here. Oh. And that leads really nicely into Ricky. That was super short, like just over 2 minutes. And apparently it samples Fire Squad by J. Cole, which I didn't catch at all. But yeah, nice simple setup to it. Just basically Denzel introducing what ZUU means, where the ZUU is. Obviously it refers to Carol City, where he comes from, which it feels like this album is just pretty much going to be a dedication to Carol City, and just like the Florida scene in general. But yeah, honestly, it was a hard track. Was super short, but I don't mind that. It's a good little setup for the album, and kind of introduces quite a few concepts, you know, with just the short verse on here. Denzel pretty much tells you like what it's like in Carol City, or at least his experiences with it. I thought it was an enjoyable song. I like that one. Had a good little transition into Ricky at the end there, so can't complain about that. Nice track. Let's move on to track number 2. I have heard this one. It's the only one from the project I have heard, and my reaction to that will be linked in the description below. It's called Ricky. I love this song. I thought it was just a great high energy single, and just like the first track, it's another pretty hard one where Denzel covers his upbringing and where he's from, so that's where I kind of get the vibe that, you know, this is what this album is dedicated to. Maybe also the fact that it's called ZUU, and he made it clear that Carol City is the ZUU. Just whenever I need to get some energy up, I would listen to this track. I feel like due to the length and the amount of tracks on this, I feel like everything is just going to be a short, you know, up-tempo track. And I can't complain about that. This came out less than a year after Taboo, so I'm not even expecting another crazy conceptual type album. As long as the music sounds good, I'm good with that. Full reaction to that song is linked down in the description below. I still love the track. It's a track I listen to a lot. The short length and the high energy of it is what makes it such a replayable track. While I don't feel like its main focus is on being lyrical or anything like that, there's still some nice little bars in the lyrics and some nice content. Let's move on to the next one, track number 3. Everything from this point is new to me. Track number 3, Wish, featuring Kiddo Marv, who I'll assume is another Florida artist. Okay, I'm interested to see how this beat comes in. This song has such like a laid back 90s vibe to it. I like it. Really kind of like glitzy. Banana. Yeah, I caught that. I like his delivery, man. I'm quite liking these melodic hooks from Denzel too. I don't know, he just really works with this type of instrumental. Oh my god, the drums are coming in hard at this part. Another really solid track on here. Definitely a different vibe to the first two. This one seemed to have a lot more 90s elements to it. It's just one of those songs where if it had a music video, you could just picture it being like outside, set in a pool party, just sun shining. That's the kind of vibe this song gives off. I really love that song. It's a sound I wouldn't expect to hear Denzel over, but it works really well for him. He sounds great over this kind of beat. Kiddo Marv was really nice as well. I liked his delivery. It was aggressive without being too intense for a song that, you know, has this kind of sound to it. It almost kind of gave me the vibe of a smoother version of Cash Maniac. So let's move on to the next one, track number 4. It's BIRDZ featuring Rick Ross.
Let's start it over. Jehovah. Come take a look at my city and its culture. We are not the same. Shame on a trying to run game. On fear and don't see none. Only fear one, but now I fear none.
There's that Rick Ross. Huh.
You see the limo and never know it's him. Cocaine raps in the Cadillac. Vroom, 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 bitch, we on the move.
Rick Ross actually works better on this beat than I figured he would.
Butterfly doves keep the birds chirping. Big top back like I'm in a circus. Deep in this gotta go. Time to plant the seed, y'all. It's time to make compost on my enemies, y'all.
The more I hear it, the production on this one is crazy. FNZ, who produced this, crazy production so far. I think it was an okay track. For me, the main thing I enjoyed on this song was the production. I actually quite liked Rick Ross on here. It was cool hearing him over this type of beat that was so, you know, brutal and hard hitting. I don't know if he raps over beats like this commonly. I haven't heard a whole lot of Rick Ross, but he did his thing on here and he killed it. I don't know, like it wasn't bad, but I just don't feel like Denzel did anything particularly amazing on this track, I would say. An okay one, but not one that I love. The main thing I enjoyed about that one was the beat. Maybe it's one that'll grow on me over time because I really did like how hard the beat went, but outside of that, it just didn't really do too much for me. So yeah, that's what I have to say for BIRDZ. Track number 5, this one I'm pretty interested to hear because it's got a Tay Keith beat. We have Denzel Curry and Tay Keith with Automatic. Before I press play, are we gonna get the standard Tay Keith, loads of hi-hats, piano-driven beat? Let's see. Okay. It doesn't sound like Look Alive, so we're doing better than a lot of Tay Keith beats already.
Automatic, gotta have it.
Denzel sounds a little different on this one. That's interesting.
Word around town, you a lick like a stamp, huh? You niggas throwing shade on my life, that's a lamp, huh? Way back then I wasn't fresh, wasn't so clean. Don't sleep on me, ho. Guarantee it be a bad dream. I don't wanna go back being broke cause mama need a crib.
Not loving this one so far. I think Denzel trying things he doesn't usually do is good, but I don't know if this particular style of song is working for him, you know?
On the road to riches, gotta look out for the surface. Watch them slither to the surface when they see your plan is working. When I started,
Yeah, I didn't really love that song. You know, I'm perfectly fine with Denzel like having fun on a track and just making something that's more of a banger, but I feel like there's other tracks he's made that does that a lot better than this one. The track just felt a little bit watered down to me, I guess. The second verse had a kind of nice rhyme scheme to it, but as a whole, the song just felt a little simplistic, I guess is the best word for it. That song just isn't for me. Don't sleep on me, ho, guarantee it'll be a bad dream is a hard line though. Next up, track number 6, track that Denzel released as a single, but I haven't heard it yet. It's called Speedboat.
big talk, speedboat. Pray to God I don't get repo. Can't go to college for a free throw. Pay your money up before you go to war. Put the mask on like a luchador. My dog didn't make it to the 21, so I gotta make it past 24.
I'm assuming he's talking about X with that line.
Keep a close eye on the things trying to harm me, warn me if anybody try to swarm me. Please pray over all my people. Big talk, speedboat. Pray to God I don't get repo before you go to war. Put the mask on like a luchador.
Alright, we're picking it back up after those two tracks. We're picking it back up.
Big talk, speedboat. Pray to God I don't get repo. Blowing out scotch, gas all in my brain. If you negate in my thought.
definitely feel like on this song, the album started to pick up again from the last two tracks. Had a nice catchy hook to it, but the hook wasn't like too simplistic. You know, the way he kind of fit the words into all the right moments on the beat just made it so catchy. Production was really solid again, like it has been for pretty much every track on this album. I think it's one that I could definitely listen to a lot. I could see why it was a single. So now let's move on to the 7th track on the album, Bushy B Interlude.
Hahaha, CDTV says Bushy like there's two O's there instead of a U.
Now you wanna fuck at the wrong timing, but you wasn't here when I was grinding. Now you wanna talk cause the boy shining. Since a nigga moved, now I'm Hollywood. Poppin', 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 cross the top, in the drop the top, dancing, dropping.
Wow, I mean, it is an interlude, but that was like 1 minute. And I actually quite like the sound of it. For how short it was, I did like the sound during it. I actually wouldn't mind if that got extended out into a full song, because I think hearing Denzel over this sound was different. And again, it was one of those like less complex songs, but I think the sound of it was just really smooth. From this song, I like Denzel over this kind of hazy instrumental. If I could see a music video for this one, it would be in like a smoke-filled strip club. That's what I see the music video for this one being. For that 1 minute and 6 seconds, I liked what was happening. Track number 8, the next one, which is actually 1 second shorter than the interlude we just got, we have ZUU, which I can only hope is a reference to our Lord and Saviour, Soulja Boy, who is free now, of course. We have Soulja back.
Shh, shh. Hey, listen to the nigga talk. Just wait. Yo. We need 2 bottles Ciroc. 2 bottles Hennessy. A little baby that you want gonna be there. I told you. We got you. You see what I told you? That nigga said 1 word the whole motherfucking time. Miami niggas different, bro.
So basically that track, Yo. Track number 9, CAROLMART featuring Ice Billion Berg. Another FNZ beat, okay. The 808 kicks just remind me of Ricky again. I don't know why.
Paid in the trap, paid in the rap. When they tell that boy finish him, it's nothing but fatalities. Them crackers gon' sentence him.
Not too sure how I feel about that one. I really liked Denzel's delivery during the verses on here. Towards the end of both of the verses, he got this really kind of aggressive sound in his voice. And no one does aggression more naturally than Denzel. It's just so easy for him. The production was pretty hard, but like I said during it, something about this song just reminded me of Ricky so much. I think it's everything from the pitch shifted vocals at the start of the chorus. You know, on Ricky they were pitch shifted down, whereas on this song they were pitch shifted up. And the kicks in the 808s just sounded almost exactly like the ones on Ricky. And this track just reminded me of it too much that for me it was kind of distracting. So yeah, it's another song on here that I thought was an alright track. So let's move into the last stretch of the album. Track number 10, Shake 88 featuring Sam Sneak. This reminds me of Ricky too. FNZ just has those kicks that they just sound so similar to anyone else, or is that just me?
She throw it back, hands on her knees. I got the racks, so bust the jeans. Hello.
And it's got the pitch shifted vocals before the chorus again.
You want somebody that'll take you overseas, yeah. You want the man shots and want some double keys, yeah. Take your knees, cause you a bad bitch and you don't fuck with fleas,
My windows have been open this whole time, so I guess my neighbours have been hearing this Denzel Curry album too. So yeah, Shake 88, another one that didn't necessarily stand out to me as something I'm going to come back to much. I did like how up-tempo the beat was. It was pretty non-stop. There was always just something going on with the beat. It was a fun track, but overall this track just sounds very similar to the previous one with the
pitch shifted pre-chorus
and the beat that sounds kind of like Ricky. It's very conflicting because I think the beat is hard and it's pretty nice, but it's just because it sounds similar to stuff we've already heard on this project that is already so short. You know, it's under half an hour long. So when you have so many tracks that to me sound similar, I don't think that's a great thing. It's definitely a different topic from the typical Denzel song, and I can give it that for sure. This is a tough album for me so far in the way that, not that I think it's bad or hard to get through, that's not what I mean, but in the way that I'm trying to figure it out and trying to see how I feel about it. So we got 2 tracks left, so let's just jump right into the next one. Track number 11, BLACKLAND 66.6. Oh, and this is 48 seconds, so I'm assuming it's another kind of like skit / interlude type track. Space Ghost Perp shout out. Okay, yeah, that was just a very short skit in the album, which just leads into the next track, which is P.A.T. So let's go on to the last track. Track number 12, P.A.T. featuring PlayThatBoiZay.
Ronnie J, please turn me up. Contact, set out, I'm on the force. This a water, bitch, this ain't aqua teens. Fuck a gun, I'm a good represent. Fuck around, have you spinning my tan? All you niggas quick to pick up a strap. You should go to sleep, I would hit a block up. Think it's fire once, but I assume it's a chopper.
The anger in his voice, man.
We carry hollow tips cause it reflects what's in my soul, damn.
Oh, that lane. Okay, he's got the aggression too. Jeez. Can tell when Roddy J is doing the 808s, man. God damn. And that is the end of ZUU by Denzel Curry. So that track, I think it was a good way to close it out. Intense, aggressive, in your face. You know, that's something that Denzel does really well. You can just hear just pure, intense anger in his voice on this song. And I don't know how this man does that without damaging his throat, but he knows the way. Guys, please comment telling me I'm not funny at all if I just put a "do you know the way" meme on the screen when I said that. And yeah, the beat was absolutely brutal on this one. Like I said, so was Denzel's delivery, and so was PlayThatBoiZay's delivery. He just matched, possibly even like surpassed Denzel's aggression. And of course there was that line that I pointed out where Denzel said, "We carry hollow tips because it reflects what's in my soul." That is a bleak lyric if I've ever heard one. So, now that I've finally reacted to it, I finally got around to it, what do I think of ZUU by Denzel Curry? This one, I think it was okay at best. Let's go through my favourite and least favourite tracks before we dive into everything else. So my favourite tracks on this one were definitely ZUU, Ricky, Wish. It opened really strong. Speedboat and P.A.T. Bushy B interlude would probably be included in my favourites if it was longer. Other than that, those are my 5, you know, favourite ones on here. Least favourite tracks, I'd have to go with, I don't know, BIRDZ has such a hard beat. Can I even put that on my least favourites? I'll go with Automatic, CAROLMART, and Shake 88, which is 3 songs out of the 10 musical tracks on here that I just wasn't really a fan of. I don't think this is an album that was bad or terrible by any means, and I get what Denzel was going for with it. You know, he wasn't trying to make something that was deep or conceptual. He was going for a more simple approach with this album that was just like an ode to where he came from, an ode to Carol City in Florida, and that's cool. I like that. But just in terms of the actual music on this one, I didn't love it that much. You know, tracks like Automatic just didn't sound like Denzel's style at all, and there was that issue I had with CAROLMART and Shake 88 where they just sounded so similar to Ricky in terms of the production to me, to the point where to me it just feels like those tracks kind of lose their identity as individual songs. Production wise, other than that, everything is pretty damn solid on here. You know, P.A.T. had a brutally hard beat. Speedboat had a nice beat, you know, really memorable and catchy song. And even, you know, BIRDZ, which is a song that I didn't love, had an insanely hard beat. Definitely like how it opened up. It opened up really strong with ZUU, then Ricky, and then Wish. And Wish actually might be the top track on the album for me. Bushy B interlude kind of had an almost similar sound to that track, except it was like the nighttime version of that song. And the ZUU skit was pretty funny. I have to mention that. The ZUU skit was funny. But overall, it's an album that I'm not walking away from feeling like blown away. If I was to rank Denzel's albums from my favorite to least favorite, you know, including mixtapes and EPs and all that, this one would either be second last or last for me. And again, that's not a bad thing. I don't think Denzel has made a single bad project, but this is, you know, one of my least favorite ones that he's made. You know, I'll take it for what I can get. I'll take those few songs that I do like out of the album and listen to them frequently, and I can't be too mad at it, even if I dislike this album a lot, which I don't, but even if I did, like I said, it dropped less than a year after Taboo. Like, how much can I really be asking for? Taboo was a phenomenal album, and I'm happy just to continue bumping that and continue bumping the tracks that I did like on here. Overall, it's an album that I think is just very in the middle for me. It's alright. nothing better than that, nothing worse than that. But I definitely think it's a testament to how solid Denzel's overall discography is that my second least favorite or least favorite album from him is just alright. You know, he doesn't have a bad album yet, and this certainly isn't a bad album. So guys, that's going to be it for the video today. What did you guys think about ZUU by Denzel Curry? Let me know down in the comments below. Did you like it more than I did? Did you dislike it more than I did? Whatever the case is, I'd be interested to know. I would appreciate you, of course, liking the video if you enjoyed it, and subscribing and turning on those notifications if you want to see content similar to this. I'm just happy to finally have this out. I've got the ZUU reaction out. We can stop getting comments about it, or you guys will just keep the ZUU reaction comments going as a meme, and it'll be all I see in my videos instead of comments related to the actual video that I'm uploading. But yeah, thank you so much for watching this one, guys. I will see you all in the next one. I have so many more videos to record, and this is CDTVThaG signing out.